Dang, we are now live. All right. Let's see. We're going to get Ashleigh Hakes is here. Can you see that? Dang. Let's see. Oh, snap. And we're live. Just like that. Hi. Ashleigh. Hey, there you are. Hi. Looks like Sarah's here too. Hi, Sarah. Peace, Queen. Ashleigh, I'm getting no audio from your end. Maybe I'm making sure that I'm not connected to Bluetooth or anything. Yeah, no, I don't think I am. Audio. Microphone check 1, 2. What is this?
Whoa, okay.
Hey, okay, now I'm getting some audio. Peace, Sarah. Okay, cool, great. I think we are live. Audio is coming through. Video is coming through. How did things look and sound on your end, Ashleigh?
They look and sound good over here.
Dang. All right, I guess we're rolling then, huh?
Yes.
Great. So let's begin. First of all, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. And I would love to share with our audience and the people watching now that the reason that we are doing this live is to share with them about the event coming up on the 29th. It's called Luminous Fireflow, and it is hosted by Ashleigh Hakes and Tiff and Embody Love Curations. And yeah, it's going to be very fun. Yo, King for all time, peace, peace. Hello, welcome. So this event is coming up on the 29th. You can find the link to it in my bio, in Ashleigh's bio as well. And there is a lot going on. There's so many different things happening for this event. And so I feel like, for me, I love to have video and audio in order to receive information. And so I love hearing directly from the people who are creating things about what they're creating and why. So I thought it would be fun to get together in this way with you, Ashleigh, and hear directly from you, like what's in your heart and what you're bringing forth. So can we hop into some questions around this?
Yes. Miguel's here. Is there a way to do 3 people on Instagram, or can you only do 2?
Yes, yes, indeed. So yeah,
I know on
let's
Facebook you can do 3.
invite the Enchanted Waffle.
The Enchanted Waffle.
Enchanted Waffle, please join. Please join us.
Oh look, we got a Tiff.
Oh shit, we got Miguel in the house. What's up, brother?
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
Good to have you here. Good to have you here.
Yeah, guys. Nice. Great introduction, Nick, as well. And hello, everybody that's out there. Super stoked to meet you all. Sorry for being late.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We were all. There's no late in the time construction of human life.
We are right on time. We are right on time, my friends.
Awesome.
Is there a 4th person that we're wanting to have join as well? It is a little bit hard to see.
That's Tiff, but she's busy. So we can just get on into it, and she can come over here if she wants to.
Awesome. Great. So I wanted to start with a few questions, if that's cool. Miguel, I was just talking about how I love to hear from the creators directly about what they're creating and why. So I was about to start asking Ashleigh some questions about herself, about her background, where she's coming from, what she's creating, what her vision is, stuff like that. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds great.
Awesome. Cool. So Ashleigh, for my audience and Miguel's audience that might not know you yet, could you share with them a little bit about yourself, about who you are and where you're coming from, like just some about your story, your background, and kind of how you got to where you are today.
That little turnaround was fun. Yes, I am Ashleigh Hakes. I am at the heart and soul of Embody Curations. It is a ceremonial production company that me and Tiff Fede have started together. And I have a deep passion for really creating transformative and immersive experiences that truly ignite the flame that within, that truly ignites the love that we are all a part of, the love that we all have abundant access to, and love in its purest form, its purest essence. And these spaces that me and Tiff create at Embody Curations is really truly a hub for us to experience that pure love and to really embrace the power that we have within ourselves to shine our light and express our truth and really just beam as much as we can.
Amazing. I love it. And I'm curious to give some like background, some context. How did you get to this point where you're like activating people's hearts, doing these events, having your own spiritual experiences and helping other people to connect to their truth, to their heart, to their love? Like, did you just from the jump, were you just ready to activate people, you know, on a deep level, or did you go through some kind of journey to get, and you know, obviously we've talked about this some, and so I know some about your background, but could you share some of that with my audience?
Yeah, so I mean, essentially it started when I was going to church. I went to Christian church growing up, and I always wanted to be of service and to give back. I went to a huge mega church that had thousands of people at it, so they were always creating really fun experiences. But there was always something blocking me at the church. I didn't quite understand the Christian dogmatism, and so eventually I started questioning things that people couldn't give me answers to, and that ultimately led me to start studying the ultimate truth of reality, and what that really means for all cultures and all traditions and all religions. So I started to train under major wisdom traditions from all over the world. I have teachers from 10 different major wisdom traditions who I've learned under, and that experience has allowed me to really pull together all of these different threads and weave together something that our society and our culture can really grasp and put our hands on for where we're at, and so that we can collectively evolve into something greater, into something more.
Amazing. Yeah. I love that so much. And that makes sense to me. I feel like I've always been fascinated by different wisdom traditions, and then also how they relate with contemporary science, and how we can apply them in a practical way to make life better for everyone here, for ourselves, the people that we love, and ideally everyone on the planet.
And there's so much magic, you know, like once you start combining all the different traditions, you know, from plants to people to, you know, each of our individual experiences all together outside of the dogma. Yeah, you get so much juicy, yummy, just like mixers there. Very, very, very cool. My background's in religion and ethnobotany, and so I love what you all bring to the world, Ashleigh and Tiff. You guys are doing such cool, magical work that, you know, it's really nifty to see people that are willing to go deeper and drop into the magic. And our local community out here in Austin like doesn't have a significant portion of people doing this. So you two are just such magical lights in this space, and doing great work in all the ways, like from in person to online. I'm so adoring what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Oh, what's up? Friends in the house.
Oh! Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to Be True Lewis. Shout out to Brett.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask as well, while we're coming from your history, Ashleigh, I'm curious if there are aspects of these different wisdom traditions that where you're seeing patterns, kind of like overlaps, universal principles. I'm curious if you could kind of touch on maybe some of the things that you found interesting or some of the patterns that you noticed through studying these different wisdom traditions, just because I feel like those universal principles are so powerful, and I feel like they're also very unifying. I feel like certain institutions in the world can be very can separate people and can be very divisive, but I feel like the universal truths help bring people together and unify people. I'm curious if there are any like principles that you've come across that come to mind that you really value and appreciate and maybe apply in your own life based on your studies.
Yeah, one of the things that comes to mind right now is in most languages and in most traditions, breath and soul are considered one word. They're not considered two separate words. Breath, soul, one thing. The breath and the soul keeps us alive. Our breath is what keeps these physical bodies alive, and these physical bodies are guided by our soul, which is our breath. Our breath is guiding these bodies and these essences. Another thing that comes to mind is the heart space and coming from a place of love. Everything comes and goes through the heart. The heart is our central channel point. It's the place that we can tap into with the breath. Yes. We can tap into the breath through the heart and center ourselves in love. And with that love, we can then move forward with our intention. Intention is something that is woven throughout all different traditions. So with our intention, we can begin to act from a place of love as we awaken more presently to really embody these energies of love that we have flowing through us at all times. So that would be breath and soul are one word. Love, everything comes and goes through the heart, and intention, acting with intention.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bars, a lot of gems in there. I feel that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I want to take a moment to introduce Tiff. Well, I really want Tiff to introduce herself. Who are you?
Oh, hey. My name is Tiffany, and I am co-creator of this. I gotta give a big shout out to my sister. We've been creating events together for almost a year now. Over a year, almost a year. And
1 year.
And this year I was like, hey, July, I want to do this thing. This is the thought. And she was like, blah, 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 and bam. And then I'm like, peace out. I'm going to go on retreat for 2 weeks and not pick up my phone at all. See ya. And so I just want to say thank you in person to like holding it down and all the love and all the everything. But so I've started off wanting to create dance in this neighborhood that I live in. I want to spread that love, right? And spread that what we find in Boston up this way. And then I was like, Ashleigh, like I would like to incorporate cacao and sound bath, and do you want to do this with me? And so that's what began creating these events together. And they've just done nothing but grow and grow and grow. And what I love, and what you guys know, is I love bringing together. I love witnessing people coming together. I love watching other people witness, like Azlon, and being like, oh, who is this? And then I love when people meet Miguel and are like, whoa, he's incredible. I remember when you were on the phone with Angel, and I told her, like, you're going to love him. And she's like, oh, my God, I love him. I'm like, I know. And I just finding these people, I feel like I'm this bridge. And so these events are like this bridge. And it's all people that are following your heart. And in so many traditions, like what Ashleigh was talking about with traditions, like in all these different languages. It's everybody's saying follow your heart, let your heart lead the way, and blah blah blah. And we don't really think about what that means, but love is God, and it's like following God and really following that truth. And if it feels good, then it's God. If it feels peaceful, then it's God, or source, or creator, love. And so really leaning into the meaning of that. And so we create these experiences with bringing together all these people that are following their hearts and leading with love. And we invite these other people to come in, and some people are coming because they want to party or they want an ecstatic dance. And some are coming because they're following their heart, right? And so it's really bringing together, and it's that bridge. It's a portal experience, always with intention, and always about love. That's me.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Tiff. And do you have any interest in sharing a little bit about your background and kind of like how you got here to this point where you're creating these love vortexes with Ashleigh and with the community here in Austin?
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Delaware for a number of years, and I studied. I became a Reiki master, crystal Reiki master, and then I also just started tapping into serving in that capacity. Ashleigh's trying to fix it so you guys can see me, and I'm getting distracted. Apologize.
I'm really trying to plug in my phone. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was in Delaware, and I was doing, the whole, like, I like to call it the gateway drug of Reiki. But prior to that, I was always into mysticism and astrology and tarot, but I didn't really have this deep, full understanding. I had a relationship with spirituality that was different than those around me, and I always knew that. And so these portals of Reiki led me to mediumship and just coming into this essence, while also being somebody who loves to dance and used to teach dance and was an event planner. So it's like I worked in the business of sales and events and like the muggle world, so to speak, and I taught Zumba and I danced and all that, and I had all that, and then I came into the spiritual world. I'm doing Reiki, and so then this just kind of became like a mesh of them both, and I ended up in Austin for so many reasons, but long story short, I traveled the country with my son off-grid, just kind of coming home to our hearts and coming home to nature and coming home to simplicity. And we landed here to choose to be close to family. And so it wasn't just my family that we call Grammy and Grandpa, but also soul family that we didn't even know existed were drew us here. And so, yeah, that.
It's coming up for me right now. I'm curious, do you remember when you first became interested in spirituality or mysticism?
I mean, I was, when I was young, like at least in high school, definitely. I mean, I was in my room. I found my mom's she had this, like, back when she was doing the thing, she had this secret stash of astrology, like cast her own chart books, like not going online, blah, 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 like you make your chart and you go and look at the aspects. And so I found that, and I'm like, ooh, and so I'd be like in my closet, in my room, looking at all of that, not in secret necessarily, but it was like what I did for me on my own. And so that was maybe, 14, 15 is when I started tuning into that. And I also really love to study other religions as well. And I got in heated conversations with my family about Buddhism and Christianity, and what I didn't know in my head I didn't know what I was talking about, and I didn't have like a valid necessarily argument, but what was true for me, I was very brazen and headstrong, and you're saying that Buddhists, if they don't believe in Jesus, they're going to hell. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I didn't have an awareness of why that didn't make sense, but I knew that it didn't feel right to me, and I knew to speak it. And so, so I studied, and it was their fault. My dad was Jewish, my mom was Christian, and they put me in a Catholic school, and I took a theology class, and I'm like, oh, what's this? You know, so many things, and I was curious, and I wanted to learn, and I don't just take what's given to me at face value, and that led to the deeper interest in like what's really behind spirituality. Like love, all of it, everywhere.
Love that. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna pause before my next question. Anyone else have anything that's coming up right now? Miguel or Ashleigh, anything that you want to add at the moment?
Well, I'm just curious to hear about you and Miguel now.
Yeah, same.
Sounds good. Go for it, Miguel.
Okay.
Yes. Well, wait, I want to start off by saying that Miguel here, we love you being in our community. I feel like you pour so much love into your food, and you put a lot of your heart into creating nourishment for us, and you do that with the food that you make, with the drinks that you provide, with the elixirs, with your little tinctures, and all of the fun goodies that you have for us. So
with that
let's
smile.
hear it. Let's hear it.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm really grateful to be part of this community. Everybody I've met since I've gotten to drop into this space over the past just over a year has been phenomenal. And to you, Tiff and Ashleigh, thank you so much for being such magical lights of connection and an opportunity for me. I mean, you all have been humongous helps, and for that I could not be more grateful. And to you, Mr. Nick, I appreciate you and all the inspiration that you bring. It's, since meeting you, has been absolutely divine, and I am so grateful to have been part of your party last week, and to have been able to be there to share food, and yeah, just to get to be around you and get to watch you perform. It was awesome. It was so good. Just the whole. So I'm here to help nourish our community. I mean, last week was a great representation of what that looks like, and next week is going to be a great representation of what this looks like. Because our community is so strong. They're so happy to be amongst each other and to be with each other. And it's beautiful that we all have these opportunities to inspire and to bridge different worlds together in such a fun, unique way. So yeah, I'm really, really proud of all of us. Just to kind of put that out there, I'm really proud to know you all and to be part of this space with you all. And so I'm the owner of the Enchanted Waffle and Om Gnomes. I have been producing gluten-free, vegan, and organic food since 2015. I started off initially making waffles. I'll tell you a bit about the waffle land. The Enchanted Waffle, I started off making waffles actually as a thing, as I was a traveling little gnome back in the day. I didn't have very much money, and I needed a way to be able to encourage people to allow me to couch surf for a little bit longer. And so I bought this waffle iron at a Goodwill and created this gluten-free, all-organic waffle recipe, and basically used that as like my bribing tool to get people to allow me to stay at their spot a little bit longer. So I'd just be like, hey, you want some breakfast? And they were stoked. And the waffles really, really took on a life of their own. I initially started making savory waffles. I actually never really made sweet waffles, which is kind of a funny thing to say. And the savory waffle to start was the stuffed curry waffle, of which has been told to me many a times that is not called the OG, which is the plain Jane sweet waffle. I call that one the OG, but the original one's the stuffed curry. And we started doing that, and people were really interested in what else we could make. Ended up meeting a woman in 2016 who was also a waffleologist. She created her own like gluten-free, organic, vegan waffle recipe. And we kind of fell head over heels for each other. And on our very first date, we were like, hey, do you want to go vend at this like big old festival, like sell waffles for our first time? And it went really well. We kicked ass. It was so good. And it was also terrible. Man, there were so many learning lessons. And, but it did show me that this was something. Fast forward a few years, I was now in California, growing cannabis, growing food, and growing other herbs, and really learning about what it meant to farm, really what it meant to be connected to the earth and be more connected to the nutrition that I was advocating for. And relaunched the Enchanted Waffle after a trip down to Peru, where I was partaking in various plant medicines and also getting in touch with other aspects of my business. Came back and realized it's time. So the Enchanted Waffle was blossomed after that. And so we've been doing festivals and caterings across the country for a good little while. Landed back here after a couple years of putting it on pause for COVID. And have since being here in Austin, it's been one of the largest, most beautiful receptions I've ever received. And I mean, you three are three of them, and I'm so grateful. You know, it's like exactly what our community needed in this funny, weird way, and like everybody's stoked. And you know, I'm grateful that the energy that I'm investing in each one of the ingredients that I choose from each one of the farmers that I know, to create and craft something that's nutritious and syrupiously delicious. And so I have the Enchanted Elixirs as well, which is our non-alcoholic elixir bar component to the brand. So basically utilizing my background in neuropharmacology and ethnobotany and my years in farming to create and formulate these really magical little drinks of all different sorts of extracts and plants from around the world to introduce people to botanical alternatives to alcohol and coffee. So that way that they can too have a beautiful, enlivening experience or a stimulating experience or a sedating experience, whatever they want, all from plants that are nutritious and forward for their wellness journey. When we suppress ourselves through alcohol and other terrible substances, you know, we're not shining this light that, you know, Tiff and Ashleigh have been talking about and that you so beautifully sing about, Nick. And you know, I'm here to kind of be that juice behind it. You know, I wanna help nourish that way so that everything that y'all are creating is even more potent. If somebody can have good food in their bellies and good substances in their bodies, and be able to be in touch with themselves, then they can be more in touch with you all and the offerings that you're offering. And so collectively, by offering the food here, yeah, just wanting to be that undertone, you know, just wanting to make sure that people are fed well into the night, any time of day, as best and as most potently as I can. Om Gnomes is a manufacturing brand, so we manufacture CBD and THC foods, and I import different botanical items from around the world, including ceremonial cacao, which is one of my most like proud things that I'm able to do. We're able to support our farmers really well at 3 times fair trade premiums, and so by helping to do that with cacao and with all the other herbs and plants that we work with, from seed to sale.
Yes. Which, by the way, I've been wanting to ask you, now might just be a good time, we can utilize that cacao for the cacao ceremony. Cool. So we'll be using that cacao during the cacao ceremony. Me and Tiff will be making it into a beautiful blend for us to enjoy during the opening circle.
Ooh, so much love. Oh, I already have.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it, you know. And I'm so stoked to just be part of this in any way that I can help support, you know, just the vibe here. I put a lot of time and effort into the plants that I find and the people that I work with, and so any way to bring them into the space through their offerings, through me, yeah, any way I can support, I'm down.
It really shows
Thank you.
in every movement that you make. Thank you.
Thank you all for seeing me. Appreciate it.
I got to take a second to pop in here, and for the people that don't know, what is a cacao ceremony and why is it important?
Great question. So I'll answer from the herbal side, and then maybe Tiff and Ashleigh, y'all can take it from the more like spiritual side of things. So from an herbal side of things, cacao is basically the base of chocolate. It grows in several different regions around the world. South America right now and Central America are the predominant areas where a ceremonial grade is being produced. What does ceremonial grade mean? It just means it's a very high quality of product that usually has not been defatted. There's a difference between cacao and cocoa, but it's actually all cacao at the base of it. But cocoa is basically just really poor quality cacao that's been flash roasted and basically prepared to be separated from its fats and its solids to make chocolate. Cacao is usually a higher quality, so it doesn't necessarily need to be roasted like that, changing its flavor profile, making it a little bit less bitter. Usually it's a little bit of a better taste, but every region has its own unique profile. But cacao is very high in theobromine, which is a compound that's very similar to serotonin, which is also very similar to cannabinoids, like tetrahydrocannabinol. And so it's a compound that's extremely activating. It can help open you up. It can help increase feelings of bliss. So that's a little bit about what cacao is and the ceremonial aspect of it from that context.
Okay.
Well, so for me, for the cacao ceremony to have that experience at every one of our offerings, every one of our dances, it is connecting to the heart while also grounding into the earth. And not grounding into the earth just because it's medicine of the earth. And if you think about the shape of the pod, the shape of the Vesica Pisces shape, which is like a portal, which is a place in which you go through this beautiful transition into life. Any of those shapes leads to an awakening or a transformation. And it's this transformation through love and all of us coming together, connecting with this medicine that is of the earth. And it's not just representation of the womb and representation of this portal, but it is that beautiful expression. And really centering into your heart. So it's like grounding your heart through love as we all come in together and setting that intention, taking that time to slow down, be present, and speak beautiful words of love into this medicine, and then beginning a state of reverence for something and doing it together in harmony, in unison, and then singing. It's a brilliant way to calibrate ourselves into the rest of the ceremonial experience of the night. And that's why it always feels really good for me. Ashleigh, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, to just continue with what you're saying, the ceremony aspect gives us an opportunity to collectively show up for what we're intending to do for the rest of the night. So we do it during the opening ceremony to really show up and say, hey, this is who I am and this is my intention for the evening, so that you can be witnessed in your truth and witnessed in how you're showing up. And also it gives people an opportunity to provide you with an experience to help you step more deeply into that intention, because we're all there as codes to weave within one another. So we're all going to be able to provide different parts of the collective intention that we're weaving together. And the cacao really allows us to do that from a very heart-centered, heart-open, expansive place of being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, it's, while the word ceremony is used, ceremony isn't necessarily entailing any sort of like indigenous tradition or any sort of dogmatic experience behind gathering and circling. gathering and circling is something that's so human and so natural that we only use that specific word just to kind of give it its place. Another word I've used in the past is silly-mony. And so, you know, it's about us being there. It's just us being present. Like, put whatever thing in front of Moni you want, and it's that. You know, it's us just being there, being present, enjoying really good sacred medicine. That, and I say sacred just because we care about it. For us, it's important. And again, no dogma, no religion, no taking from any sort of indigenous anything. We just care about this plant. And so for us, it's sacred. And so when we can sit together with each other in a space that we also believe is special and important, it all just takes on this beautiful aura of sacredness for us. And we invite people into that space to join us in whatever way that it is that you want and need to show up. And this medicine really does, from like a chemical perspective, help quite a bit. It helps opens up like the heart that Ashleigh and Tiff are talking about. Actually, from a chemical perspective, the blood is moving a little bit more. There's a compound called anandamide being released in the body, which is helping to increase bliss and peace and activation. And so, yeah, like we just combine it all, the music, the vibes, the actual medicine itself, and create this cacao ceremony.
Yeah.
I want to touch on the word ceremony again, because my mind was like, I love to play with words. And so I'm sitting here thinking of the word ceremony, and cerebrum, and cerebral, like the mind, and mono, like one. So like one mind coming together as one mind to create. And like, that's truly what we're often talking about, this unified field, this unified consciousness that we all are God expressing itself in body and form. From Ashleigh talks about like formless into form. So we are all in form and informed, coded as expressions of the divine. So when we come together as one mind, connecting with this medicine, which has been observed and witnessed to do these things through methods over time, people picking this plant and noticing, oh, this is what it's doing, and beginning to form these connected experiences, and we're all doing that. It's potent, and it's beautiful, and it doesn't have to be psychoactive for it to be magic, right? Because we are within us. We're the medicine, we're the magic, and we're having this beautiful connection between us as we drink this beautiful elixir of love.
And Mr. Tommy, we are talking about ceremonial cacao. We will be having a small little cacao ceremony at the beginning, and Mr. Nick asked for clarification on what is cacao and what is a cacao ceremony to us. And I'm curious to you, Nick, like what is a cacao ceremony to you? How does cacao show up in your world?
Yeah, I love cacao ceremonies. I love ceremonies of all type, rituals of all type. I think about things from kind of like two different perspectives, kind of like from the material perspective and from the spiritual, psychological perspective. And so I like how you're breaking down that there are there's the biochemistry of cacao, and there are the chemical compounds that interact with our physical bodies in certain ways that support certain states of being, heart opening. That was interesting about anandamide and bliss and things of this nature. And then I also think about how powerful the mind-body connection is, and how being present, period, is medicine, and how there's this book going back to Reiki that Tiff was mentioning earlier. There's this Reiki book that I have, and in near the beginning of it, it has this phrase, all realities are made of the void by the mind. And so I see all kinds of different tools as different ways that we can use the mind to create reality. And so in that sense, kind of like from more of the psychological, spiritual side, I see cacao as one tool. That there are all kinds of different tools that we can use in our rituals and in our ceremonies to come together, create presence, set intention, and kind of channel that creative energy into creating beautiful things in the world, in our individual lives or in our collective lives. And I see cacao as one of those tools that we can use. It's also delicious and heart opening, and it has all these great great effects. I was talking with my friend a little while ago. He's talking about the difference between top-down regulation versus bottom-up regulation. So essentially, bottom-up regulation is using your physiology to shift your mental state, your psychological, mental, emotional state, whereas top-down regulation is using your mind to shift your physiological state, if that makes sense. So I feel like when we can use both of those, both top-down regulation and bottom-up regulation, then that really sets us up for success and just makes it easier for us to access our power. And then another thing that I love about cacao ceremonies is that that's something that we get to do together. So we get to, each of us individually, we're having moments of stillness, we're having moments of presence, we're having moments where we can connect with our truth, and then we can, with our truth individually, and then together we can bring kind of that energy of truth, that energy of authenticity, that energy of being real, of being authentic. We can bring that together as a group in a ceremonial setting. And I feel that when I think about this quote from Dr. Joe Dispenza, it's essentially that reality is made by collective networks of observers. So the more that we can come together and connect with each other and relate with each other based on our truth, then the more we can co-create reality that's of that similar nature, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like that is a good segue into who you are, because a lot of what you're speaking to is a lot of what you sing about.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And also, forewarning, I just got a little notification that my phone is getting warm, so if something happens, my phone just overheated. No biggie.
Got it.
So much love, it's on fire.
What do you say, Tiff?
I said so much love, it's on fire.
Yeah, this conversation is fire. The technology cannot keep up. Before I jabber on about myself, in case your phone does overheat, Ashleigh, would you like to share kind of like just a little bit about this event on the 29th, just so if people are enjoying the conversation and are vibing, then they know kind of like when the event is, where to get tickets, what it's about, what to expect, and anything else about the event that you like to share. Peep the flyer.
We have Luminous Fireflow, a ceremonial dance party to illuminate the journey of the heart. This experience is going to have live music by Daniel Walker and Nicolas Azlon, with a opening circle that is going to be started off with Scotty Love and Forrest sharing some tunes. We're going to have a cacao ceremony that's going to lead into the Breath of Fire. And during this ceremony, everyone will have an opportunity to speak their intentions and say who they are and just really express why they're there tonight with kind of like that bullseye intention. What is your truth? What really lights you up? What ignites that fire within you? Followed by the cacao ceremony, we're going to have featuring B. Lewis. That's going to be Anthony and Brant Weiss. They are going to be throwing down an ecstatic dance for us to boogie on the dance floor silently. No speaking on the dance floor, just for ecstatic dance. And then we're going to have a good old-fashioned dance party with DJ Billy Daves. He usually throws down some like house tunes, tropical vibes. Tropical vibes. But he can share more about that later. Followed by a prayer performance with the Great Medicine Show. We're also going to be having kids activities. This is a big deal. We're going to have parent care out. So this is a family-friendly event. Bring your kids, bring your family. There's something for everyone. Oh, you got to go. Well, you can finish watching it later. Thanks for supporting us. So good to see you. We'll also have some vendors. We're going to have a vendor market. One of our vendors is Miguel. He's going to be serving the scrumptious, delicious, enchanted waffles with some amazing elixirs. We're going to have some jewelry. We're also going to have some live painting featured by Elizabeth Banker. She's going to be...
Stop.
She's going to be blowing you away with her art. It is incredible, visionary art. We're also going to have a beautiful tea lounge with our lovely Maddie Jane. We're going to have a quantum sound immersion with me, Maddie Jane, Mark Bob Babaji, and Tiff over here throwing down some light language. We'll have an all-night drum circle, maybe a few surprises at night. Stay tuned. And we're going to wake up in the morning to the sunrise with another sound bath, followed by a gentle yoga with our lovely Adam DeMarco, who just went to Bali and got his 300-hour stocking up on them teacher trainings. And then we're going to have a good old wholesome breakfast in the morning while we integrate and say our Yafatahs.
Where is this happening, Ashleigh?
This is happening at the wonderful, the beautiful, the Cosmos Ranch Foundation. This is the beautiful property of Taylor Monroe and Stuford Nouns. They are beautiful, incredible, wonderful human beings who have 40 acres of land that is going to transform into an amazing permaculture food forest over the years. This is the opportunity for us to bless this land, for you to check it out in its beginning stages and really watch this property grow and flourish into what it is because of what we're planting there and what we're cultivating because of this experience. So we're really looking forward to it. And yes, that is what I got for you. Luminous Fireflow, a ceremonial dance party.
Oh,
Awesome.
amazing.
Awesome.
Quick question for the overnight sleeping or not sleeping. Are we camping? Is that the vibe?
If you want to camp, you can camp. But if you just want to stay up and hang, you can stay up and hang because that's what I'll be doing.
Beautiful.
I was like, tent? I'm bringing the tent.
Realistically, I'm not going to set up a tent, but you can set up a tent if you would like to.
I'll probably do that. Go take a nap. And then also the breakfast in the morning is potluck style. So if you're
Potluck style, and if you don't,
and you're interested in coming, bring food. And of course, there will be enchanted waffles there, from my understanding. So yes. Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Great rundown. Thank you, Ashleigh.
So let's hear about you. What are you bringing us? Who are you? What you got?
Yeah. What you got?
My name is Azlon. My full name is Nicolas Azlon Menchaca. I really enjoyed, I like hearing about people's backgrounds, and I have more questions for Miguel on his background and his history. And I'll just give a little bit of mine here. I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, because my family was moving around a lot at the time. A lot of my family is from Austin, and so we came back here to Austin shortly after I was born, when I was about 3. And so then I grew up here in Austin, in the Austin area, and kind of relating this back to, kind of like our mutual love of the mysteries of nature, you could say. I remember, man, so yeah, one of the things for me is that my mom passed away when I was little. And so that was obviously very painful. And in retrospect, I feel that her passing was part of what really drove me to be really interested in spirituality. And in retrospect, I can see the logic that through spirituality, I was able to stay connected with her despite her physical transition. And so that has been a big part of my history. I have a song out called In Time. I don't know if any of y'all have heard it. but that song kind of tells some of that story and some of the essence of that story. And I remember when I was little, maybe I was like 7 or 8, 9, something like that. I remember asking my dad, how do you spell planes? Like planes of existence? And in retrospect, I also realized that that is not a normal question per se that everyone asks around that age. But I remember, just like feeling, especially in retrospect, just kind of like feeling interdimensional, not feeling, totally like I am this body. And yet today I definitely don't feel like that. I feel like I have a body, I have a mind, I have emotions, but I'm the observer. There are different words for this and different phrases for this. And also growing up here in Austin, I've been so grateful to be surrounded by live music pretty much my whole life. My dad is a musician. He played at the party that we hosted this past weekend. And he's amazing. He's a spiritual being as well. I feel like we are all spiritual beings, but, he's somebody who has been interested in different spiritual traditions and kind of bringing through knowledge and wisdom into my life as well. And he shares that through his music. So I feel like I'm very much my father's son. And like, when I think about my dad, he's like a kind and loving person. He's a musician. He's a spiritual dude. Like, he meditates and he like shares love and wisdom through his music and, different things like this. And it's like, oh, wait, who are you talking about? Is that, did you just describe Azlon or did you describe Tito's? Hard to, it's like, I feel very similar to my dad in significant ways. And I love my dad so much. Basically continued growing more passionate about music throughout my time growing up. And then, have continued to make music. I was out in LA for a few years. And I feel like when I was out there, some of the things that I really enjoyed were studying breathwork and meditation more in depth with people out there and friends out there. And I had been into meditation for, maybe like 10 years or something like that at that point that I went out to LA. But I hadn't really dove much into breathwork, and getting deeper into like the Wim Hof method and breath work was really powerful for me. Also, I have this friend, Joe Patitucci, who runs something called MIDI Sprout. And basically he creates plant music. So he has this system that translates the electrical impulses of plants into music. And when the energy in the space, when the subtle energy in the space moves, the plants respond to that, and then that causes shifts in the music. So he had a plant music breathwork class out in LA when I was there, and I remember going to that, and in that breathwork class having an experience that helped me become more aware of the relationship between our state of being and essentially our awareness of subtle energy. So in my experience, breathwork and meditation help bring us into, you could say, a higher vibration, an altered state of consciousness. They shift our physiological, mental, emotional, energetic state such that, in my experience, it makes me more aware of the subtle energy that's around me. And it kind of changes your perspective on reality. So like going away from like, hey, everything is solid matter, everything is three-dimensional, everything is just rocks and twigs and these very dense aspects, to having a more direct experience that no, we really live in an ocean of energy, and that we're part of this living sea of energy, and it's a much more interconnected perspective. So that's one example of different experiences that I've had throughout time that continue to compel me to keep on seeking and keep on gaining knowledge and wisdom and information that can be used in a practical way. And part of why this is practical is because, in my experience, these tools bring us into a greater state of health, into a greater state of well-being, into a more harmonious state of being within ourselves. And when we're in a more beautiful state in and of ourselves, then we have more to give. There's the phrase, give from your overflow. But you can't give from your overflow if you don't know how to get into overflow in the first place. So a lot of these tools have helped me to learn how to increase my own energy and then, give from that overflow. And I feel like if we're able to do the more that all of us, 7.5 or 8 billion humans on this planet are able to do that, the more beautiful our collective world will become. So that's some of my background and where I come from, and how I got here today.
And why like hip hop? Like why was that the way that you decided you wanted to share this sort of message?
Yeah. So for me, one of the biggest experiences that got me into rap music and hip hop was hearing the song called "Thieves by the Night" by Black Star in high school. I remember I was sitting in my chemistry class in high school, and my friend Kian McClay, I believe is his name, he turned around and he was like, "Hey bro, listen to this." And he passed me the headphones and I started listening to it. And at that time growing up, so there's there are what is it? I think it's Yasin Bey who says, "I'm sure everyone out there listening will agree that everything you see ain't really how it be." And like that essence of the appearance of things versus the reality of things is something that like my dad helped me become aware of in different ways as I was growing up. And then I had a felt sense of like at that same school, sitting in my history class, for instance, just having such a sense of like, this whole system is fucking bullshit. Like there's so much nonsense going on here that I feel just on an intuitive level. And that dissonance between what really feels like whole and true and good and beautiful to me versus what feels like just, there's this quote from this book called Esoteric Mind Power, and it's society's task is to make you a machine. Your task is to refuse to become one. And so like growing up in just in the standard educational system that's essentially working to condition us to become a machine, not to think for ourselves, not to have critical thought, to basically just sit down, shut up and follow orders. Having that felt experience, even though I couldn't necessarily put it into language at that time, and then listening to Talib Kweli and Yasin Bey break shit down in that song in chemistry class, I instantly felt that resonance between like, oh, I'm in this fake environment right now that's set up on some bullshit, but these two artists are speaking this truth that's really transcendent of that system. And so it, like, I just resonated with it on a really powerful level, and then continued seeking more gems like that throughout all music. And there's a lot of gems in hip hop. People be saying some shit. In hip-hop.
I just sent you a gem that was one I was like, oh, I mean, in Tribe Called Quest and all that, obviously too, but I just sent you one that for you to listen to later. It's not like, yay, like you are, but it made me think.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Nick, like every day, I catch myself singing one of your songs, like some part of the chorus or something, dude. Like literally.
Appreciate it.
It's so like positively infectious. Like your lines are just so good, and like watching you at your party, like sweating and watching you just like singing your music and watching everybody rocking it. It's just like it gets in here, it stays in here, your music really impacts. And yeah, I love that you've chosen hip hop and rap to articulate this, and that you were inspired as like a young one to do that. And it's very touching. There's a very unique touching aspect to you utilizing hip hop in this conscious fashion to ultimately share a message that reverberates. Is your music available like on Spotify and Apple and all things?
For sure. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. And if people are watching now and want to check it out, there's a link in my bio to some of the some of my favorite songs that I've released recently. Yeah, so that's out on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube and Tidal and all of the places. And yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, Miguel. And for me, from my perspective, I feel like there are so many great MCs that I've heard and that I've learned from, you know, whether that's Yasin Bey or Black Thought or Q-Tip or Absol or Kendrick or you know, so many different artists that are that have just given such powerful gems, both in their music and in their interviews, that I feel so inspired by them as well as other artists and other musicians. And you know, I'm just working to do my best to kind of pay it forward in my own way. You know,
you're rocking it, dude. Yeah, it's such good, potent, positive forward movement of the genre, and your lines, your rhymes, everything about it is touching, awesome in like the truest sense of it. It's just, you end up with your mouth open at the end of one of your shows, and you're like, yeah,
appreciate it.
this is awesome. This is so good. I'm looking forward to seeing you perform.
I appreciate it so much, man. Yeah, thank you. And likewise, like Ashleigh and Tiff were saying, like I'm so grateful, you know, that you were at my event this past weekend. I'm stoked that you're here now, that you'll be there, you know, on the 29th, and I'm just stoked to continue co-creating, because yeah, your light is infectious as well, and your enthusiasm and your love, you know, is infectious as well. And yeah, I feel like we get together and yeah, we all amplify each other together, you know.
Yeah, we had a great representation of what this is going to look like this coming week. Really glad that you were able to gather everybody, and yeah, just to see what that little potent experience that we have together. And I'm inviting anybody that's watching and that will be watching to come join us on the 29th. There's an abundance of magic that is to await you. We highly invite you to come in. Believe that they said that there's tickets available through the event page, right? Or did Ashleigh mention how?
Yeah, and one of the easiest ways is the link in my bio. If anyone is interested in coming on the 29th, yeah, they can just go to the link that's in my bio, and it'll have the top button will have a link directly there where you can buy your ticket, get more information, etc. And so that's probably the easiest way to go. And you can also follow myself. You can follow Ashleigh, and Ashleigh is going to continue posting about it and sharing more information between now and the 29th. And then also, this is just one event in a continuum. You know, it's like,
yeah, you don't catch
what I've heard from Ashleigh, she's not planning on stopping doing events anytime soon, and same over here. You know, we're I feel like all of us are going to continue co-creating moving forward, and yeah, I love this opportunity to continue growing the conversation. One thing that's coming to mind as well is Solar Punk Summit in August. I feel like that's going to be another massive community gathering, another nexus point of just all of these people coming together, bringing love, bringing their gifts together, and sharing and celebrating and teaching and sharing information and educating each other and supporting each other, and yeah, doing all of these things. So lots of good stuff on the way, including this event on the 29th.
Yeah, we'll be there as well for Solar Punk Summit, serving food and drink. We are fortunately being gifted the opportunity of assisting the Central Kitchen by providing another food option for people that are going to be out having a beautiful, magical time. So we're there to nourish, and we're looking forward to nourishing this coming week. And if you all are interested as well, one more little plug for an event every Thursday right now at Indra's Warehouse here in Austin. Myself and the owners of Indra's are putting on a soul dance every Thursday, which is our version of ecstatic dance, where the Enchanted Waffle and Enchanted Elixirs are serving goodies. So if you are looking for an opportunity throughout the week here in Austin to come and wiggle and waffle, we have an opportunity for you to come and do so. So just kind of want to plug that in there. It's a really magical art gallery warehouse space, last one here in Austin, to be honest. And we are able to utilize this to create a collaborative space where people are bringing their music, I'm bringing my food, we're bringing our vibes, we have flow toys, we have aerial toys to play with there. And overall, it's building and growing into a really beautiful nexus for our community during the week.
Heck yeah. Love that. Shout out to Randy.
Yeah, go Randy.
We love her. Yeah, so good, so good.
So it looks
awesome.
like our normies over yonder, Ashleigh and Tiff, their phone ended up overheating.
The conversation was too fire. I don't know if you saw, but they momentarily caught fire themselves.
They did. I saw that. I think that was your warning. Like, we're about to go. We're about to die. We're about to burn.
It's going. Yeah, but good stuff. And yes, so like this, I love, like, I'm so grateful that we have this technology and these tools to be able to connect in this way, and then also to be able to share this information in this way. And I've been enjoying making little post-production clips as well. So I'm gonna see if I can download this video and post some clips about different subjects that we've talked about. And I say that to say that, yeah, we can always hop on another live between now and then and just continue growing the conversation. Yeah. It's good stuff. Anything else that you would like to share on your end while we're here?
When you're looking for an event this Saturday, there's a techno and aerial show over at Angel's Warehouse called Exhale. It is starting at 9 p.m. Tomorrow evening and going till about 3 in the morning, and it's going to be a really lovely time. So if anybody is out and wanting to waffle and wiggle tomorrow, come and see us. But for now, that is all from me. What about you, Mr. Nick? Is there anything from you?
Yeah. It just popped back into my mind. I'm also playing a show on the 28th at Cheer Up Charlie's. So anyone that's in the Austin area, if you want to come out to Cheer Up Charlie's, I'll be playing about a 40-minute set there that night. So that's going to be really fun. Yeah. I love, shout out to Cheer Up Charlie's. I love them, and I feel really grateful to them for having me. Also, my friend Chucky Black is going to be playing on that set as well. So we went to high school together, and we've been freestyling together in different moments throughout the years, and I'm super stoked to. I don't think that we've ever played a set together, so I'm really stoked to get to play on the same lineup as him, and meet some new friends and say what's up to everyone out at Cheer Ups, and then the next day come out and do this Luminous Fireflow event and really go deep. I'll bring my tent, maybe take a nap, get some dancing in, get some waffles in, get some rhymes in. Next weekend is going to be amazing. I'm really stoked about it. And what else? Oh, there's one thing I wanted to ask you, just to clarify your waffles. This is obviously a softball, but your waffles, are they normal waffles or are they different? Great. Break that down for me.
Great. Yeah, that was nice little lob. Super cool to answer. So we make the best waffles you've ever had in your entire life. I can straight up pat myself on the back, and I reckon everybody that's had one can definitely say the same. Yeah, and so they are gluten-free, vegan, and all organic. 3 main ingredients in there, or 3 main flours, are rice, oat, and buckwheat. They're made with bananas, so no refined sugars, no anything weird. Everything that I do is highest quality. We know almost every farmer that goes every ingredient. So from seed to sale, I make sure that it's super high vibe. We like to designate our food as plant-based and vegetarian. So there are some cheese and egg options that are available. They are clearly listed. But it's to engage with people that do need a little bit more of an animal protein in their world. And we want to do that in the most ethical fashion possible. So we make sure everything's organic and certified humane. But yeah, so thanks for that question. A little bit different than your average IHOP or Eggo waffle. Definitely a step up and improvement for adults. It's a waffle for an adult. And we should be eating like adults and not just shoving sugar deep into our face hole.
I feel that. Also, a quick testimonial. You made me a jalapeno cheese waffle. So I guess quick distinction as well. You have both savory waffles as well as sweet waffles, which is really cool. I'd never had a savory waffle before, let alone a jalapeno cheese waffle, and it was delicious. It was so good. Super dank. Really enjoyed it. So thank you. Just a little testimony.
I was so stoked. I just to share this before we take off. It was the last waffle of the evening at his party. We did so well at his party. We served so many waffles, and then I was looking for Nick. I was looking for him, and I couldn't find him. And then he appears. He was like, "Oh, there will be a waffle for you. There will be a waffle for you at the end of the night." Totally, and sure enough, put together the best little waffle for him and loaded it up, and we were so stoked to be able to feed you. I was so stoked. It meant a lot to me to get you the last one and to make it just pure and lovely, and just it was a culmination of all the good vibes of that evening into that little waffle. So thanks for munching with me, Nick.
I feel that. Thank you. And bro, I needed it. Like, one of the things about these events, at least in my own experience, is I can get so caught up in just getting into flow with people. And I love like the ability to be present with people and to go deep with people. And so I can get caught in that flow and forget like, oh, I need to feed my body. I need to sit down. I need to drink some water. I need to, and so by the end of that evening at like 2 a.m. or whatever, my body was like, hey, bruh, feed me. And so that waffle came in clutch, man. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. I look forward to feeding everybody these beautiful concoctions, these beautiful creations. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and thanks for being a support here, Nick. And I'm actually gonna have to get going here, and so I will bid you adieu. I will bid our viewers adieu. I look forward to seeing you all either tomorrow at Exhale, next week for Ecstatic, or on the 29th. I might even try and catch your show on the 28th. But the Cheer Up Charlie's awesome venue, great background. You're gonna have such a cool space for you. That's gonna be such a good show. To hear your voice bouncing off of the apartment building across the way. And just hearing your conscious music blasting down and up around 6th Street. Yes.
Appreciate it. I think we'll be inside, so we'll see how far the sound travels.
Okay. Cool.
But I appreciate it. I'm gonna do my best to bring it as much love as possible.
Let's do it. I'll see you in a few days, my friend.
All right, brother. Sounds good.
Bye to everybody.
Great to see you. Have a great day. Talk soon.
Bye.
Cheers.